Everyone speaks of the American dream. Usually, people mean by it an opportunity to buy a house, a couple of cars, and other staples of prosperity. In people's minds, the American dream is all about financial success. Writer and historian James Truslow Adams, who coined this expression some 100 years ago, said that the American dream is the belief that life should be better, richer, and fuller for everyone. But was this the dream of the America's founders? Was this the dream of the pilgrims? Is this why they came from Europe in 1620? Is this why they left behind everything they had to set off on a long and dangerous journey? People usually say that pilgrims fled religious persecution in Britain and sought freedom for their faith. It is kind of correct, but only kind of. It is true that pilgrims originated from Britain, where they split from the Church of England in the desire for what they called a purer religious life. It is true that they were persecuted by the British Queen, and because of this, they left England. But they fled to Holland, known for its religious tolerance. In Amsterdam, they did not experience any persecution and were able to practice their faith. It seems like they had everything they dreamed of while they were in Holland. So why did they decide to leave everything, risk their lives, and travel across the ocean? They came to Holland because of its freedom, and they left Holland because of that same freedom. They were concerned about the influences of the local culture. One of their leaders, William Bradford, insisted on immigrating from Holland because of the great licentiousness of the Dutch youth and many temptations of this country. Licentiousness means disregard for rules and inappropriate behavior. Nathaniel Morton wrote, "The problem is Dutch parents. They give their children too much freedom, and because of this, our parents cannot raise their children properly without reproach from their neighbors." The American dream of early Americans was to create a religious society in which they could protect their children from temptations and influences of a culture of immorality. Today in America, there's so much talk about the violence and inappropriate scenes that our children see on their screens every day. Parents complain about what is going on in social media and internet in general. It seems that America turned into a society that early Americans ran away from. Very often people coming here from other cultures say about America the same thing that the pilgrims said about Holland. What happened to the pilgrims' American dream? So what is the solution? Should we go again in search of new shores? Not necessarily. Historically, Jews lived in their shtetls, little villages and towns, protected from external cultural influences. Today, we Jews are a part of a big world with all its temptations. The Rebbe constantly insisted that we can resist those influences if we make an effort. Therefore, observant Jews try to live in their own communities, send their children to their own schools, and only watch movies that are acceptable by our standards. We created internet and smartphone filters according to our requirements. America was created not for the pursuit of wealth, but in search for a religious life. Perhaps this in turn led to this country's achievements. Over the time, it looks like the purpose of creation of the United States started being forgotten. Maybe we need to remind ourselves of it. Thank God, my children are living the true American dream. Are yours?